Our senior correspondent, John Miller, is a former FBI assistant director. Before that, he spent years covering the mob. John, good morning. What do you make of Mr. Veazey? I'm surprised he's talking.
Well, Mr. Veazey, actually, you know, he's a whole roller coaster of stories. Here's a guy who was a hitman for the Stampa faction, which was the Sicilian faction of the Philadelphia mob, then decides to testify, then goes into the witness protection program, ends up in the middle of nowhere, cleaning hotel rooms, no background, meets a girl, she becomes his wife, becomes a car salesman, becomes the top salesman, becomes the general manager, goes to a bigger dealership, and then they hire an FBI agent as the chief of their security, and he says there's something about this guy that doesn't add up, does his background, unravels it, says to the boss, hey, you know, your new general manager is like a former mob hitman. Then he's out again. So part of writing this book was telling his story, and part of it was kind of rebuilding an income and putting his life back together.
So what was the intent of the former FBI guy who was the security head for the company that was going to hire him?
Well, you know, you would think an FBI agent would say, well, this guy's a protected witness. I'll keep. But at that point, he's the head of security for this company, and he's basically saying to his boss, do you know who's running, you know, your dealership here?
Yeah, so he's saying, I'm now working for the car company. I have an obligation to them.
That's right.
A couple of interesting things about this guy. Number one, he was a hitman. Number two, he's in Philadelphia, where we continue to have stories about the Philadelphia mob.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the Philadelphia crime family.
Number three, his testimony sent 12 people to jail.
Yeah,
and so there was a lot of people interested in seeing him dead. So he goes into witness protection. Where does he go now?
Well, now he's kind of in stage 3 of that, which is, you know, that's why I call it the roller coaster. It's been the rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall. Clearly, he's not in the witness protection program anymore, or he couldn't do an on-camera interview. That means he's built his new identity, he's operating on his own, and in some way, by coming back to Philadelphia, by showing his face, he's saying, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is
it sounds
me.
like he's it's almost like he's saying, come get me, is he not?
Well, a little bit. And when he goes back to Philadelphia, he kind of leaves that allure of, I might be coming to get you. It's a very dangerous balance.
Any developments in the Whitey Bulger story?
So big development. Yesterday, the higher court removed the judge from the trial. Big setback for the case. They got to find another judge. So what's behind that is, this is the Boston mob. This is the case that involves the corrupted FBI agent who was feeding Bulger information at the same time Bulger was feeding him information. And the judge at that time worked in the federal prosecutor's office, was friends with the man who's now the FBI director. So the higher court just said, with all the issues that are going to run through this trial about the FBI, the Department of Justice, what did they know, when did they know it, this judge is going to have at least the appearance of a conflict. So it's a big setback in a case that seems to go on and on.
I know the stories you cover, John, there's always a twist and a turn.
That's why they make movies out of them.
Yeah, they certainly do. Thank you.